What if the off switch you trusted most on your phone wasn't actually off? In 2018, reporters and researchers reported something very chilling. Google was still taking precise location snapshots of people, even when they flipped location history off. Now, this wasn't just a rumor, it came from tests, from logs, and from Google's own documentation. Today, I'll show you exactly what they found, how it worked, why it wasn't just a glitch, and why off in big tech often means off-ish. Location coordinates aren't just dots on a map. They are a living diary where you sleep, where you walk, the clinic you visit, the friends you see, the protests you attend. You get the gist. Time-stamped location data lets a company to reconstruct your routines and predict your future behavior. Now, for an advertising giant, that's gold. But for you, it's personal and maybe something dangerous. And that's why controls like location history matter far more than you realize. They control whether your movements are silently stored and monetized. You see, in 2018, the Associated Press published their findings showing that Google services were storing location data even when users had turned location history off. They partnered with Princeton to run reproducible tests, and the results were crystal clear. Opening Google Maps, doing a simple Google search on your phone, even automatic weather updates could generate GPS entries tied to your account, despite location history being paused. Now, these weren't vague. You were in the city logs. They were precise coordinates with timestamps, visible right in your Google My Activity history. Now you see, this wasn't magic, it was product design. Google has multiple pathways to collecting location data. Location history is the visible settings that feeds Google Maps timeline. So turning this off turns off only the timeline. But then web and app activity is a separate setting and it's on by default. It stores searches, app activities, and yes, location markers. Then there are also app level snapshots. Opening certain apps like maps or background refreshes like weather updates trigger instant location pings. Those are stored under web and app activity, not under location history. So in practice, off only turned off one pipe, the other stayed wide open. But here's the thing, this wasn't the first time. Google didn't just wake up in 2018 and accidentally start collecting location data with settings off. This pattern goes back over a decade. Between 2007 and 2010, while mapping the world, Street View cars also collected data from unsecured Wi-Fi networks. These included emails, passwords, and browsing activity. Google called it an accidental inclusion of experimental code. Then fast forward to 2017, Android phones were sending cell tower addresses to Google. And this happened even with location services disabled and even with no SIM cards inside. Google admitted it, promising to stop later that year. So by the time the AP dropped their bombshell in 2018, this wasn't just a one-off. It was the third major off doesn't mean off incident. Now it even gets more interesting. During later legal proceedings, internal Google emails revealed that even employees themselves admitted the settings were confusing and designed to make it hard for users to disable location tracking. Evidently, this was no bug, it was a design implementation. Now, as expected, the AP findings triggered worldwide lawsuits. Google was sued for deceptive practices because their design nudged users into leaving tracking on. In 2022, 40 US states sued Google, ending with a $391 million settlement. But what's important to note is that these lawsuits all happened after the 2018 findings. So Google didn't just get caught and stop, they got caught and kept going. Now, these things just keep getting worse. GPS isn't the only tracking method. Even if you turned the GPS off, Google still had options. Triangulating your location from cell towers, pinpointing you via nearby Wi-Fi networks, using Bluetooth beacons in stores and public places, and using reading patterns from your phone's accelerometer and gyroscope. That simply means Android system services, YouTube, Gmail, even a quick search could still reveal where you are, no GPS needed. So far, I get this might sound like a bad Google rant, but to be fair, it's not just Google. This is an industry-wide pattern. In 2011, Apple was found storing months of unencrypted iPhone location logs. Facebook's nearby friends between 2014 and 2019 collected background location even when the feature was turned off. And Snapchat's Snap Map has been severely criticized for constant background location tracking. What's the common thread here? Location data is too profitable for big tech to truly let you opt out easily. Now, going back to this Google scandal, the real danger here isn't just that the data was collected. It's that the settings appeared to give you control when you had none. Most people saw location history off and thought they were done. Instead, Google's split architecture quietly kept data flowing through other channels with defaults that favored collection. It's a dark pattern with massive privacy concerns. Here's what you might not know. Location data is probably the most valuable currency in the tech world, both for product features and fueling ad revenue. When a product splits data collection into multiple switches, it creates the illusion of control while protecting its business model. So, here's my practical advice. The first is the hardest but probably the best for your own privacy security. Do away with your Android phones. Embrace other alternatives that are open source and can be audited. One I'll usually recommend is a Graphene OS phone. That's probably the best you can do right now. But then the reality is many people have to still use these devices. So for instance, I have multiple Android devices. So I'll be a hypocrite to tell you never use them. I have to use them for work because I produce content around all of this. So if you're stuck for work or for whatever reason with any of these devices that will track you, don't trust a single toggle. Turn off both location history and web and app activity. On your Google account, regularly check My Activity for unexpected location entries. Very importantly, audit app permissions and revoke location access from apps that don't truly need it. And I might have started with this, but I'll reiterate. If privacy truly matters to you, reduce dependence on Google services entirely. These 2018 findings did not just expose a rogue employee or a bug, it exposed a real design integration bent at ruining your privacy. It's now 2025, and if you feel big tech has suddenly lost interest in your location, you're being severely naive. In the race to dominate artificial intelligence and advertising, the company that knows you best will always win. Off should mean off. Until it does, treat big tech's privacy settings as marketing, not guarantees. And that's why I make a lot of videos like this, to keep you informed, to keep you prepared. Now, if you like what I do on this channel, you could support us by joining our membership. This is a nice way to help us produce this kind of content without bias. Also, if this is your first time on the channel, please remember to subscribe. And of course, like this video, share it so that the algorithm understands it's very helpful. Till the next one, please stay safe out there.